has this incredible bold sort of a citrus aroma to it, which I find just intoxicating. It's another big time hummingbird draw. So if you're trying to get, and by the way, hummingbirds are everywhere. Don't say there's no hummingbirds where I live. They're there. They're just going to places where they're getting what they want. If you want to get hummingbirds to your area this summer, get a Monarda or get our hummingbird plant or get both. What I love about the Monarda is the color. Brilliant violet, the most gorgeous pink, and then this almost like a fuchsia kind of a color are all included. The violet is almost a blue. All of these, and when you grab the leaves and roll them in your hand, oh my gosh, the scent. It's a citrus scent. The whole thing is just amazing, and it will draw the pollinators in. One of my favorites, 695774, $26.95, and you are gonna get 2 of these today. Absolutely gorgeous. They will come like this. I'll put one in the middle, and they will grow very, very fast and very, very successfully anywhere in the country. And remember, everything is 4Flex, only $6.74 to get it home. Rochelle, let's talk a little bit about this one. It's one of my favorites from last year.
It is everybody's favorite, I gotta say, because it's so good at attracting the bees and butterflies.
Yeah.
And that is really one of the main reasons. And along with the butterfly mint, both of these, they just smell so good. I grow both of them. They're unique. Their smell is kind of similar, but not. This one is much more citrusy. This one is also, by the way, I don't know if you know this, I live up here in Boston. When we had the whole, you know, not that I was involved, but the whole Boston Tea Party thing many years ago, we threw all that tea in the harbor. This is what we used instead. And it's called, if you make this, use the leaves, dry them, it's Oswego tea. So that's a little bit of American history for you. Oswego tea, it's bee balm, Monarda, in you know, steeped in water. And it's because it has that really nice, I would like an Earl Grey tea. That's what it kind of reminds me of when you steep it. So yeah, fantastic for that if you wanted to, you know, make tea for it, but then also you get all these blooms. This is a variety, by the way. I grow a lot of different Monarda, and some of them, if you've grown them before, can get quite tall. I have some that are almost as tall as I am. But then these are a much lower growing mounded variety, which is really nice if you have a smaller garden or you want to grow them in a container or something like that. They're not going to get so big and so tall. And they're going to stay kind of in that little moundy sort of form, which is also nice. You also get all 3 colors. There's multiple plants in here. That's how we're getting the multiple colors. You don't want to separate them out. In fact, you can't really. But you know, you get all of these colors on the one plant. The bees and the butterflies and the hummingbirds, they absolutely love them. I mean, I love how these are great in a container. I don't plant any of my bee bulb in a container. I think I need to try that this year because that just looks so pretty in that white container. I love that contrast that you're getting with the 3 different flowers, which these 2, by the way, these are funky little flowers. I always think of them as like little hats. They're kind of, I don't know, they have a little like hat-like quality to them. And when they dry too, they dry like little spiky hats kind of thing. They do dry well, which is kind of fun. Yeah, just a great solid plant. Also, for the heat and very drought tolerant, I have big beds full of bee balm. I never water them. They are happy with the water that falls from the sky and nothing more. These will do the same. As soon as they settle in, you'll need to water them, of course, when you first plant them and get them established. But after that, they're a super low maintenance, drought tolerant and heat tolerant plant. In fact, the heat sort of activates the scent in them. So when the sun shines down, those oils start to release, and they just smell amazing. Like when I walk by mine, I just, you know, always want to take a deep breath. Same thing with the butterfly mint coming up. Deep breath, just because they smell. It's like walking into a spa. It's so nice.
Well, you're smelling the blossoms, and you're smelling the greenery as well, which is a big deal. It's like one of the reasons I love to grow mint, just regular mint. I just love the smell of mint in the yard, right? It's just so nice when you've got a whole bunch of it. So that's what you're getting here. So you're getting something that not only are the flowers, you know, the flowers remind me of like old school shower caps. You remember the old school shower caps? My mom had ones that had like little weird stuff growing out of the top of. You remember the ones. So that's kind of what I think Rochelle is talking about. And then these beautiful leaves, which have that great scent. It's that combination that really draws in all the pollinators. And you got to realize listen, honeybees and things like that, that's good for your garden. And honeybees aren't gonna bother you. As long as you don't bother them, they're not gonna bother you. But what they're doing is they're cross-pollinating all the rest of your garden so that you can get great stuff growing. So it's always good to have an attractor like this, like say you're growing tomatoes. You know, tomatoes have little tiny sparse flowers, but you wanna get the bees to the area so that the you know, you can pollinate your tomatoes as well. You know, especially if you live in a humid area, because with humidity, you know, a lot of tomatoes will cross-pollinate, but they won't if it's real humid. So you need the bees to go and bump around from flower to flower to be able to do that. These will bring them in. And it does it in such a beautiful way, Rochelle. I mean, the color variation of all these flowers, which you get them all, is really pretty. It's a nice combo, wouldn't you say?
I would, and you know, I do think that you know, the way we've got the 3 varieties planted together here is really unique. It's you know, normally you would buy at a garden store, you would get the pink, or you would get the hot pink, or you would get the blue, and then you know, to get them to mix together, you wouldn't be able to really do that because you'd have like you know, be like a mound of pink, a mound of the hot pink, and then a mound of the blue. Whereas this is nice because they've grown together from the start, you know, from when they were born as little baby plants. So you get all 3 colors on what appears to be one plant, which is, you know, it's just, I don't know. I love stuff like this. I love when we can play horticultural, you know, magic games and make plants look like they bloom multicolors and stuff like that. Cause it's fun, you know, it's unique and interesting.
Hey, Rochelle.
When we can do that. Yeah.
You know who loves the Monarda? Apparently our squirrel. Oh, great. Oh. That's it. Lick yourself once we come to the shot. Thank you, Mr. Squirrel. Oh, he's out of here. I humiliated him. He's like, hey, what the heck? I didn't realize there was going to be a camera
Don't
on
look at me.
We laughed because, and Rochelle, you've probably seen that squirrel. He's on the trellis over here. He is not what I would call the most friendly squirrel, because I think we took over his little garden down here, but he's kind of become our mascot. He's actually beautiful. Look at him. He's so awesome. But he gets a little upset when we're out here, so I got to be careful he doesn't jump on my head, especially after I showed him flashing himself there. Anyway, we're going to go a little bit longer. Rochelle, give us like about 60 more seconds on the Monarda while I make sure Mr. Squirrel doesn't jump on my head.
Yeah,
look,
keep him.
He's on the feeder.
Oh. He wants the bird feeder. That is what they do. They're so clever, those little guys, getting at the food.
He's so smart.
No, these are great tough plants. So again, if you have that hot, sunny spot that you don't want to have to pay a lot of attention to, it's great to get these established. These will actually spread slowly over time. You know, they'll reseed, they'll naturalize, as we call it. So you'll have more and more. They won't just stay as, you know, this one little plant. I've been growing bee balm for years. We call it bee balm, or Monarda is the Latin name, for years. And it's a staple of my garden because it's just so easy. I'm always into the low maintenance. I've got too many other high maintenance things to worry about. What is that squirrel doing in there? You
want to see what he's doing now? He's eating all my bird seed. That's what squirrels do. Look at him. You know what, though?
Look at him.
Hey. He's a creature, or she's a creature, whatever it is, just as well, and enjoying those sunflower seeds. Look, yeah, you see? And what did I say, though? You heard me, Rochelle. Like, if you don't put stuff out, they won't come. And you want to have things like squirrels and birds. You want that in your yard. You want nature. We got it right.
But when you do put it out, they do come. That's the magic of it. You know, I get clients all the time who are saying, you know, I'd love to have the bees and the butterflies and the hummingbirds and whatnot. And it really, really is about planting the things that they love. Right. Because if you do plant it, they will come. They will absolutely come.
Well, we are going to move on, Rochelle, to something just as beautiful. If you're talking about your pollinators, my big pick of this hour is our 3-piece hummingbird plant. I'm going to walk over and try not to freak out Mr. Squirrel too much, although he's so used to me by now, he doesn't care. Look at him, he's not even moving.